Christian Camping Southern Africa, or CCSA, is a vibrant working and growing association consisting of more than 100 members from South Africa, Namibia, Swaziland, Mozambique, Zimbabwe and Zambia. It is affiliated to Christian Camping International. CCSA has a wonderful heritage of people with a passion for camping ministry and a desire for fellowship between leaders involved in these ministries. Without the people who birthed this association, we would not be where we are today. However, there was Christian camping in South Africa long before CCSA was founded. As far as we know, the very first Christian camp in South Africa was held during the July holidays in 1908 by the Christian Students Association, or Christen Studentenvereniging. It was held at Ilovo in Natal and led by Mr. G. van der Merwe. In January 1976, Brad and Pep Stenberg from the Mount Hermon Christian Conference Center in California came to South Africa. Their vision was to work with camp and conference leaders to develop the effectiveness of Christian camping in Southern Africa. While on staff at Kayara, they helped to develop programs and visit Christian organizations, camps and conference centers in the Transvaal in the north of the country. In June 1977, Brad and Pep did a 5-week tour of Christian campsites and conference centers in Natal, Transkei, Lesotho, the Cape Province, the Orange Free State, and the Transvaal, visiting 42 different sites. From this tour grew an interest in developing a fellowship of Christian camping and conference leaders in Southern Africa, where ministry ideas and needs could be shared, and a preliminary get-together of camp and conference leaders from around Southern Africa was organized. With the support and cooperation of Vernon and Cathay Dinkelman and the staff of Kayara Christian Conference Center, the first get-together was held at Kayara in January 1978. Some 40 people from each of the 4 provinces of South Africa attended this meeting. Mr. Vince Craven, a trustee of Christian Camping International, or CCI, and the international ambassador of CCI, came from Canada to attend the event. The experience of this first Camp Come conference was a very positive one. People shared how God led them into the camp and conference ministry, and sessions were held to discuss common issues and challenges involved in this ministry. Before leaving Kayara, those in attendance unanimously decided that a South African fellowship of Christian camping and conference leaders should be founded. They chose 5 people to set up the organizational structure for this new fellowship. They were Bethel Gibson as chairman and Vernon Dinkelman, Fred Grant, Peter Holmes and Brad Stenberg as members. Another conference was held at Camp Jonathan in Natal in August 1978 to discuss and approve the ad hoc committee's proposed constitution. The 30 people who attended this conference were able to work through and approve the proposed constitution of the Christian Camping and Conference Fellowship, or CCCF. CCCF was formally founded, and the first convention and annual general meeting was held at El Mirado Hotel in November 1978. The fellowship began with 9 camp and conference members, 3 Christian organizations, and 8 individual members. The members elected Theo Frykberg from Willowvale Camp as the first CCCF president. 8 others were elected to serve on the first CCCF Executive Committee. "11 months after the formation of CCCF, the Worldwide Association of Christian Camping International accepted CCCF into its membership as the South African division of CCF. They allowed CCCF to keep its original name. At the 3rd annual CCCF convention held at Skogheim, the members accepted a revised constitution which adopted a change of the fellowship's name from Christian Camping and Conference Fellowship to Christian Camping International South Africa Division. While it now was a recognized division of CCI, the South Africa Division remained an autonomous body. It was represented by a member chosen by the South Africa Division on the CCI Fellowship Board, which met every 2 years. CCI South Africa, as it was called then, continued to grow in membership each year and to contribute to the growth and the development of Christian camping as an effective ministry tool in Southern Africa. The CCI cable newsletter became a regular publication and a resource library was begun. The first meetings seemed to focus on tips on making a decent septic tank, which caused a lot of hilarity. One of the issues with which members needed help right away was the matter of general sales tax and whether members should register for this tax. CCI South Africa encourages members to do the right thing and register, even though it would mean an increase in fees and extra administrative work. In 1982, the first edition of the Directory of Christian Camp and Conference Centres was published. In 1989, Christian camping in South Africa received a big boost when Mike Nolan from Rockland Centre became the chairman of CCSA. In 1990, he appointed Janet Hardy as his secretary. She held this position until 2004. Few people have done as much for Christian camping in South Africa as Janet has. CCI South Africa produced the second edition of the Directory of Christian Camps and Conference Centres. The aim was to produce a very professional-looking booklet with members paying for advertising. It was done through the firm of printers, and getting those adverts designed, then out to the campsites for approval and back again to the printers was quite a task, as there was no email or scanning facilities. Everyone had to make do with fax machines and snail mail. The directory changed the face of camping. Prior to that, camps were almost exclusively organized by churches and organizations such as Scripture Union and the Students' Christian Association over weekends and holidays. The directory helped to start a trend of midweek camps. 6,000 directories were printed and sent to schools, churches, and bookshops. They were distributed free of charge, as all costs were covered by the advertising. At the conference at Winford, delegates sat around the fire with their hot chocolate and addressed envelopes. Hurrah for the advent of email and websites! The directory was such a success that a second printing was done, and these were sold for the princely sum of 20 Rand plus postage. In 1990, CCI South Africa hosted the International Associated Representatives Forum Conference at the YFC Centre in Hekpoort. It was preceded by a visit to the Kruger National Park, as well as a tour around the country to see campsites. Organising passports and visas, as well as transporting delegates to and from airports, was a real challenge, especially with no modern-day amenities like mobile phones. The knowledge that CCI South Africa were part of the international body was huge encouragement to everyone. In those days, keeping people encouraged was very important, as many campsites were run by a husband and wife team who led quite a lonely life, as campsites were often in isolated rural areas far from Christian fellowship. The camp directors also had to work long, hard hours, battling with all the difficulties of building and developing their campsites. In 1992, Mike Smallbones attended the forum in Mexico as representative of CCI South Africa, and then again in 1995 as president of CCI South Africa. The secretary, Janet Hardy, attended the international meeting held in New Zealand. This contact with international bodies and camps really broadened horizons and deepened passions for the ministry of camping. The South Africans were, however, rather daunted by the fact that South Africa unexpectedly won the Rugby World Cup against New Zealand that year. In 2003, an administrator was appointed, and at the annual general meeting held at Rocklands in June 2004, the name was changed from CCI South Africa to Christian Camping Southern Africa, or CCSA, to embrace other countries in Southern Africa. Christian Adventure Ministries Network, or CAMNET, was also established at this conference. Its focus was programming, networking, and drawing younger people into the camping fraternity. At first, CAMNET had their own training events. Training was given in the hard and soft skills of abseiling, rock climbing, low and high ropes courses, experiential learning, adventure ministry, first aid, and many other practical skills. Opportunities were given to participants to share their best practices, and professionals were contracted to assure a high standard and that valid qualifications could be obtained. After a few years, it joined forces with CCSA, and CCSA expanded its reach to include both facilities and programming as separate tracks at all its conferences. Clive Douglas was the first administrator of CCSA. He worked for the Youth of Christ Training Centre and at the Heron Bridge Retreat. Corrie Zyman, Clive's secretary and personal assistant, did the administration work of the CCSA. In 2008, Clive Douglas stepped down and Corrie Zyman became the next administrator. In 2006, Mike Smallbones was involved in establishing Africa Christian Camping, the CCI Association in East Africa with Muia Karianjahi. CCSA still partners regularly with ACC, and the two associations send delegates to each other's conferences. This gives an opportunity for cross-cultural experiences and supporting and learning from each other. It also allows CCSA to broaden its horizons beyond its own backyard. In 2009, Vic Brink from the United Christian Students Association and Mariska de Beer from Scripture Union joined the executive committee. Having more organizations, especially from the Afrikaans community in South Africa, joining hands with CCSA added great impetus to the Christian camping movement in the country. In 2010, Lorraine Dietrichs took over the administrative role from Corrie and is still doing an excellent job in that department. She and her husband Pat also started the support ministry and have done a great job in visiting almost all the member camps over the past few years with the purpose to support and encourage camp directors and their staff. In 2012, Pat and Lorraine Dietrichs, Vic and Tia Brink, and Martine and Shannon Lord represented CCSA at the CCI Summit near Madrid in Spain. They came back with a suitcase full of ideas for implementing in CCSA. Muia Karianjahi represented ACC. In 2014, Vic Brink was voted onto the Christian Camping International Board. Vic, Muia Karianjahi, and Ross Bay have pioneered the development of CCI in West Africa. This is another opportunity to partner with countries in Africa and to broaden horizons and spread the gospel through the camping ministry. From its beginning, CCSA has been diligently managed by its elected chairperson and executive committee, and the secretary or administrator has kept its finances in good order. CCI had its international board meeting in 2015 in South Africa at Heron Bridge Retreat, and had some discussions with the CCSA Executive Committee about the CCI International Summit that was planned for 2016 and other matters. For CCSA and Heron Bridge Retreat, it is a great privilege to host the summit. One of the real strengths of the CCSA is that there's no competition between member centres, but rather a real willingness to share everything they have learnt and to support and care for one another as a family. This has been a real witness to new people joining, as it is so very different from doing business in the worldly way. The whole ministry has grown and developed, with many campsites now offering full programming services as well as excellent hospitality and facilities. The present Executive Committee are striving not only to give a sense of family with love, care and support, but also to provide benefits such as setting good standards in programming and facilities. Furthermore, it provides a database staffing system, regular newsletters, a CCSA website with information about the organisation as well as details about all its members, an internet forum on which needs are made known in the network, a governance manual, a health and safety manual, training courses in various aspects of camping challenges, extreme life courses, advertising of the industry, a buying group and a support ministry for camp directors and their staff. Last but not least, it organizes CCSA's popular annual conference, where the focus is on spiritual input and workshops on both facilities and programming. Truly, it is great to be part of an organization that has grown and changed to meet the needs of the world out there, and to bring people into a life-changing experience while at camp. Many Christians testify to meaningful experiences and coming to know the Lord at a camp. From a small but enthusiastic beginning, the Fellowship of Christian Camping and Conference Leaders in Southern Africa has grown and taken its place in contributing to the worldwide effectiveness of this vital ministry to the glory of God.